So we have started problem number 15th. See the problem again. Following are the details regarding the capital structure of a company. Type of capital, debentures, preference capital, equity capital, return earning. So 4 types of capital. Book values, then market value, specific cost are given. And you are required to determine the WACC, weighted average cost of capital, using book value as weights and market value as weights. So first we start with book value as weights. So 15th problem, calculation of WACC using book values as weights. Source of capital. Then we have book value. Then we have specific cost. Last we have total cost. First, debentures. Then we have preference capital. Next we have equity capital. Last one we have retained earnings. The book values are given as 40,000, 10,000, 60,000, last one 20,000. Total is 1,30,000 given in the problem. Here it is 5%, 8%, 13% and 9%. These are the specific costs given in the problem. Now we multiply. Book value into weight. 40,000 into 5%, you will get 2,000. 8% of 10,000, you will get 800. 60,000 into 13%, you will get 7,800. Lastly, 1,800. The total will be 12,400. The total of the cost. So WACC is equal to total cost divided by total capital into 100. That will be 12,400 divided by 1,30,000 into 100. You will get 9.54%. This 9.54% is called WACC, weighted average cost of capital. This is the first problem where we are finding out WACC, overall cost of capital, combined cost of capital. So individually specific cost of capital are given. We have simply multiplied the book value with specific cost to get the total cost. WACC formula, total cost divided by total capital into 100. This is the method of finding out WACC. Now second is using market value as weights. First one we have taken book value as weights. Secondly, we have to take the market value as weights. The source of capital. Then we have market values. Weights. Then we have specific cost. Percentage. Last one we have total cost. Same items will take debentures. Second, preference capital. Third one, equity capital. Last one, it is retained earnings. Now, the book values given in the problem are 38,000, debentures 38,000, preference capital it is 11,000 and equity capital is given 1,20,000, whereas retained earning market value is nil. Remember, there will be no retained earning market value for retained earnings because it is not external, it is internal. So retained market value will be there only for equity capital. It is given in the problem equity capital market value as 1,20,000. 1,20,000 and nothing is given in retained earning. Actually market value represent both equity capital and retained earning. मार्केट में जो सिक्योरिटी का वैल्यू रहता वो दोनों को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हूं मैं. 1,20,000 जो मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी है, दिस इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग बोथ both equity capital as well as retained earnings. So this 1,20,000 should be apportioned, divided in the ratio of equity capital and retained earning of the book values. So 1,20,000, this 1,20,000 we should not take here. In working notes we will write down. The market value of equity rupees 1,20,000 represents both equity capital and retained earnings. The market value of equity rupees 1,20,000 represents both equity capital and retained earning. Hence, rupees 1,20,000 should be apportioned in the ratio of book values of equity and retained earnings. That is what is the book value of equity capital? 60,000, 20,000. That is 60,000 is to 20,000 is equal to 6 is to 2 or 3 is to 1. Now what we'll do? We'll divide this 1,20,000 in the ratio of 3 is to 1. 2 3s are 6, 2 1s are 2. 3 by 4, 1 by 4. Now we can write like this. Equity is equal to 1,20,000 into 3 by 4, 90,000. Similarly, retained earnings 1,20,000 into 1 by 4, 30,000. So instead of taking 1,20,000 here, now I am taking 90,000 and 30,000. If you add up both this, you'll get 1,20,000. So it is better to apportion that 1,20,000 in the ratio of book values of equity and retained earnings. The total is 1,69,000. Take the specific cost 5%, 8%, 13%, 9%. Now the total is 38,000 into 5%, you'll get 1,900. Here it is 880. Here 11,700. Multiply 90,000 into 13%. Then 2,700. Now if you add up, you are going to get 17,180. WACC is equal to total cost divided by total capital into 100 is equal to 17,180 divided by 1,69,000 into 100. So you are going to get 10.17%. That's it. This is the first problem on calculating WACC. Again, I repeat from beginning, it's very simple. So using book value as weights. So we have taken the source of capital, 4 source of capital given in the problem. Book values are given, balance sheet values are given for all. Then specific costs are given. Simply multiply book values with specific cost to get the total cost. Then WACC is equal to total cost by total capital into 100. Finished. The only thing you have to remember is in case of market value. Market value of retained earnings will not be given. So what you have to do is the market value of equity should be divided between equity and retained earning in the book value ratios. In the book value ratios. The book value ratio is 60,000 is to 20,000, 6 is to 2, 3 is to 1. So 3 is to 1 is the ratio of equity and retained earning book value. बुक वैल्यू का रेशो है, वो बुक वैल्यू के रेशो को 1,20,000 में डिवाइड कर, तो 1,20,000 इंटू 3/4 एंड 1/4, 3/4 इक्विटी आ गया, 1/4 रिटेन अर्निंग आ गया. बस यही चीज आपको याद रखनी है. नाउ टेक द टोटल, देन मल्टीप्लाई, विल गेट द सेम फॉर्म. दैट्स इट. नाउ यू कैन सी द 16th one. A firm's after-tax cost of capital of the specific cost is as follows. Cost of debt KD 8%, cost of preference KP 14%, cost of equity 17%. The following is the capital structure: debt, preference capital, equity. Total 10 lakh. Calculate the WACC, weighted average cost of capital KO, using the book value as weights. It is not asking you to calculate in market value. Only book values are given. It's very simple. So problem number 16. Calculation of WACC using book value as weights. Using book value as weights. So simply I am changing the values. You can see only I am changing the values, that's it. The format, formula, everything is remaining same. Now, the three types of capital are debt, then preference capital, last one equity capital. The amounts are given in the problem as 3 lakhs, then we have 2 lakhs, and last one we have 5 lakhs. The total is 10 lakhs. Specific costs are cost of debt 8%, preference 14%, and equity is 17%. That's it. Now 3 lakh into 8%, you are getting 24,000. Then 2 lakh into 14%, it is 28,000. Similarly 5 lakh into 17%, 85,000. The total of this cost is 1,37,000. So 1,37,000 divided by 10 lakhs into 100 is equal to 13.7%. We got 13.7%. This is the WACC. 16th one over. 17th problem. A company has on its books the following amount and specific cost of each type of capital. Type of capital: debt, preference, equity, retained earnings. 4 type of capital. Book values are given for all, whereas market value is given only for debt, preference and equity. What is the equity market value? 10 lakh. And this 10 lakh is representing both equity and retained earnings. तो ये 10 लाख रुपये जो मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी है उसको डिवाइड करेंगे अभी जैसा करे थे. द सेम सेंटेंस, द मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी 10 lakh rupees is representing both equity and retained earnings. So we have to divide the 10 lakh rupees in the book value ratios. Book value ratio. तो what is the book value ratio? Equity 5 लाख है और retained earning 1 लाख. तो 5:1. तो 10 lakh rupees should be divided in the ratio 5:1. Then specific costs are given. Determine the WACC using book value weights and market value weights. So first of all, here I am taking A. Using book value weights. This is problem number 17. So the four types of capitals are debt, preference, equity, retained earnings. So book values are 3 lakhs, 1 lakh, then 5 lakh, next one 1 lakh. Specific costs are 5%, 8%, 13%, 9%. Now multiply. 3 lakh into 5% is 15,000. 3 lakh into 5% is 15,000. Then 1 lakh into 8% is 8,000. 5 lakh into 13% is 65,000. Here it is 9,000. Total 97,000. Here it is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lakhs. %9.7%. Or we got 9.7% as the WACC by using book value weights. Now we have to find out the market value weights. WACC using market value weights. Retained earnings. The market values are given in the problem, that is 2,80,000 debt. And preference is 1,20,000. Equity is given 10 lakh. The market value of equity is given as 10 lakh. Represent both equity capital and retained earning, hence rupees 10 lakh should be apportioned in the ratio of book values of equity, that is 5 lakh is to 1 lakh. Five is to 1. So here equity is 10 lakh into 5 by 6 and 10 lakh into 1 by 6. 5 plus 1, 6. So 5 by 6, 1 by 6. So it will become 8,33,333. Here it will become 1,66,667. Now we take the cost 5%, 8%, 13% and 9%. Now the total. We'll find out 2,80,000 into 5% is 14,000. 1,20,000 into 8% is 9,600. Similarly, 8,33,333 into 13%, 1,08,333. Last one, it is 15,000. The total comes to 1,46,933, and the total of capital is 14 lakh. So here it is 1,46,933 divided by 14 lakhs into 100. So it comes to 10.5%. So these three problems we have solved on WACC. How to calculate WACC using book value weights and market value weights exactly. Eighteenth problem. 18th problem I am giving you as homework because exactly same what we have done in 17th problem. See carefully. Following are the capital structure of a company. Calculate the overall cost of capital. Overall cost of capital means WACC, weighted average cost of capital, using book value weights and market value weights. Equity capital, book values 45,000, return earning 15,000, preference डिबेंचर. बुक वैल्यू सबका दे दिया, लेकिन मार्केट वैल्यू इक्विटी का 90,000 दिया, रिटर्न अर्निंग का नहीं दिया. तो वो 90,000 को डिवाइड करेंगे दोनों में. कौन सा रेशो में? 45:15. 45,000 is to 15,000. 3 zeros निकाल दो. 45:15 और 3:1. 15 3s are 45. तो 3:1 के रेशो में डिवाइड करेंगे 90,000. 90,000 into 3/4, 90,000 into 1/4, like this. And the different tax of different sources of finance is as follows. The after tax of different sources of finance is as follows. Equity capital 14% लेना, return earning 13%, preference capital 10%, debenture 5%. So 18th problem you have to do it yourself, right? 19th problem. Nineteenth one. The following is the capital structure of a firm. Source of finance, equity, paid up capital, retained earning, reserves, preference, debt. Amounts are given and these are the book values. Proportions are given. Proportions. तो अमाउंट के साथ proportion दे रहा. The total capital is 10 lakh और 10 lakh rupees में 4,50,000 equity है. Out of 10 lakh rupees total capital employed, 4,50,000 is equity. तो परसेंटेज में कितना आ जाएगा? 4,50,000 divided by 10 lakh into 100, you will get 45%. Proportion problem में दे दिया है. तो 45% कैसा आया वो? 4,50,000 divided by 10 lakh into 100, 45. 1,50,000 divided by 10 lakh into 100, 15%. 1 lakh divided by 10 lakh into 100, 10%. 3 lakh divided by 10 lakh into 100, 30%. टोटल 100. तो प्रॉब्लम में अमाउंट के साथ साथ प्रपोर्शन भी दे दिया, परसेंटेज भी दे दिया. द फर्म्स एक्सपेक्टेड आफ्टर टैक्स कंपोनेंट कॉस्ट ऑफ वेरियस सोर्स ऑफ फाइनेंस आर एज फॉलोज. स्पेसिफिक कॉस्ट दे दिया पूरा का. 18% इक्विटी है, 18% रिटर्न अर्निंग, प्रेफरेंस 11%, डेट 8%. फाइंड आउट द WACC. देखिए अब ये प्रॉब्लम में न्यू पॉइंट प्रोपोर्शन दिया. क्यों दिया? वी डोंट रिक्वायर प्रोपोर्शन. WACC can be calculated either by taking the amount or by taking the proportion. You will get the same amount. Same WACC आता, चाहे तो आप amount को लेकर मालूम करो, चाहे तो proportion को लेकर मालूम करो. अभी कई प्रॉब्लम में अगर amount नहीं दिया, खाली proportion देगा तो आप कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि अभी तक आप 3 प्रॉब्लम करे, तीनों प्रॉब्लम में amount दिया. अब ये प्रॉब्लम में amount भी दिया, proportion भी दिया. दो में से कोई एक लेकर आप मालूम करना है. You have to find out WACC either by taking amount और by taking proportion. लेकिन आप लोग की इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए हम दोनों भी मालूम कर लेंगे ताकि कंफर्म्ड हो जाए, कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाए कि वी कैन गेट WACC either by taking amount or by taking proportion. We'll get the same answer will be. So first of all, calculation of WACC using book value as weights. This is problem number 19. Now, what are the different sources of capital? That is given: equity, retained earnings, then preference, last one debt. These are the different sources given, right? The amount are 4,50,000, 1,50,000, 1 lakh and 3 lakh. The specific costs are equity 18%, then return earning 18%, preference 11% and debt 8%. That's it. Now we multiply 4,50,000 into 18%, you will get 81,000. Similar, 1,50,000 into 18%, it is 27,000. Next one, 1 lakh into 11%, 11,000. Last one, 3 lakh into 8%, 24,000. The total is 1,43,000. Here it is 10 lakh. So 1,43,000 divided by 10 lakhs, 14.3%. 14.3%. This is the WACC. According to amounts. अभी जो लिया मैं amounts लिया. अब proportion लेकर भी देखेंगे, you must get 14.3. Even if you take proportions also without taking amount, ये amount नहीं लेंगे, खाली proportion लेंगे, फिर WACC मालूम करेंगे, same answer आएगा. तो ultimately conclusion क्या बनाए? WACC can be calculated either by taking the amounts or by taking the proportions. We'll get the same amount. Calculation of WACC using proportions. But in examination, only once if you calculate, that will be okay, either by taking the amount or by taking the proportion. For your information, I am applying both. Source of capital. Then book weights or proportions. Source of capital, equity. Then we take retained earnings. Next we take preference. Last one we take debt. Equity. It is 45% given in the problem. It is 15%. It is 10%. Last one 30%. Total is 100%. Now specific costs are 18%, 18%, 11% and 8%. Now 45 into 18% you'll get 8.1. 45 into 18% you'll get 8.1. 15 into 18% 2.7. Then 10 into 11% 1.1. Last one 30 into 8% 2.4. Total is again 14.3. If you find out the total of this, 8.1 plus 2.7 plus 1.1 plus 2.4, you are going to get 14.3. Therefore, WACC by using proportions. (14.3). तो चाहे तो आप अमाउंट से मालूम करो या प्रोपोर्शन से मालूम करो, दोनों में आपको सेम अमाउंट आएगा. देन दोनों का WACC सेम रहेगा. It's your wish whether you take proportions or you take amounts. This is a new point we came across in this